I have already made a gunsmith video for this season and reviewed all the iron sights in depth when the gun was first released. And in this video I will just talk about the Mythic FFAR, the default variant, the upgrades, the usability in ranked multiplayer as well as battle royale, and give conclusions. What is worth mentioning that part of the draw is the contact grenade, which is extremely satisfying to explode your enemies with due to the kill effect. The sword Bright Blade is also pretty nice, and if you max out the mythic, then whenever you switch from this sword to the mythic, it goes inside the gun. You will see some gameplay soon. And now the upgrades. So in level 1 you get more different attachment looks, which I think it is probably the upgrade which you should do, and usually you get the extra tokens to upgrade whenever you buy a whole mythic draw, or just spend COD points whenever a draw is returned or released. So number 1 is really easy to get and pretty much you just should do it. Level 2, however, it is just a different death effect, which I think it doesn't matter all that much, so if not the level 3 you could stop at level 1, but level 3 gives you a slightly better iron sight. The default iron sight is not as good, although I used it now and it is quite usable on a like bigger phone, but on my previous smaller device it wasn't really that good. And so level 4 we get the tracers, and to this day I haven't concluded if they are really necessary or not, but when you're hip firing in battle royale it is quite nice. And level 5 gives you the final iron sight form, which at first I didn't like, but after getting adjusted to it more I think it is really solid. Of course you get also the mythic share option, and the sword, like I said, it goes inside the blade of any level regardless of whether it is the level 5, level 3 or the default variant. If you have it maxed out, then whenever you change from the sword to the gun it goes inside. And of course we have those bonus thingies like the frames and whatnot, but I mean, it is just aesthetics. And so regarding the usability in ranked multiplayer, for numerous seasons I kept on saying that the gun is severely underrated, and it was. But of course this season when it is returned it is not feeling as powerful, because simply there are many tier H users, HPKs, man wars and whatnot. And so the task force barrel variant, which is like the fastest, it does not feel fast enough. And for this reason, for the season I would suggest switching to the ranged option. But I mean, once meta changes you can go back to the fast variant and it will be one of the fastest assault rifles again. And considering that it was viable for so long and it hasn't been nerfed or anything, I think that it is quite safe to get this mythic and like use it long term, especially when you have option to just change your gunsmith and change your playstyle a bit. But it is not a top-notch meta option right now. It might return and be more viable again later, but it is still a thing to consider. As for battle royale, I really liked using it in Alcatraz, the range variant, but now we do not have the Alcatraz, and for isolated and blackout, well, there are better assault rifle options to choose, but it's not bad. Like, if you just want to use it because you have a mythic, you will not be underperforming. But if you want to be very sweaty, then surely you should choose another variant. And I completely forgot to evaluate the design itself, so this is certainly among my top 3 favorites alongside the Kill on Type 19. It is very smooth, as you can see how the movement overall is. It is quite lean, and it is very pleasant to use for this reason. The iron sight, all of them, they are also really solid, there are no issues, unlike the Crow Mythic for instance. And so just overall the arenas, although I have to say that when I'm previewing it in lobby it just looks huge, it looks too big, but in game it is just the right size. And so basically you get a mythic gun, which is pretty usable in multiplayer. It was even more usable, it was, I would say, a hidden meta kind of thing. At the moment it is a bit too slow, but I mean meta changes and it will be back. I'm pretty sure that it will be back, like we cannot have the rages, ban wars, HVKs and everything be the top guns forever. So if you want to get the Mythic, I would say it is quite safe. As far as upgrading goes, you can really stop at the level 1 or just push to level 3 if you want a better iron sight. And of course you can max it out for the Mythic share, for your sword effect and for the max level iron sight as well. But I mean maxing out a Mythic is something that you can do just periodically, like even 10 spins in the grade section once a month. And eventually you will have it maxed out. So it's not really the top priority anyhow. And the sword itself, it is not really bad. Although I'm not too fond of how you're running with it. But I mean it's good, it can be used. Also I think that we might have more gunsmiths now since the Mythic has dropped and probably many people will start using it. So maybe they will find a better gunsmith and maybe it will turn out that the gun is already quite meta. But I have been using it since the release and it really had better days in my opinion. Although I also said that PP9 it was really a bad option when the Mythic was returned, and now it is one of the most usable SMGs. So what is meta today may not be the meta next season and the season after and whatnot. So yeah, I feel that this kind of concludes the review.